Okay, let's dive right in. Picture this. We're in Puchong, Malaysia. It's a really vibrant, typical neighborhood, and it's absolutely packed with businesses, all hustling, all trying to make their mark. Today, we're going to explore how a brand new cafe can do more than just get by in a super crowded market. We're going to see how it can become something the community can't live without.
So just how crowded are we talking? Take a look at this. Services make up a huge 40% slice of the pie, but look at that other big piece, food and beverage, at 25%. That means 1 out of every 4 businesses around here is a restaurant or a cafe. You are literally swimming in a sea of lattes and cappuccinos.
And that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? If you're opening a new spot here, let's call it Hue Cafe, for our example, how do you possibly avoid just being another option, another face in the crowd? How do you build something that people don't just choose, but something they actually genuinely care about?
Well, this challenge actually has a name in the world of business strategy. It's called the red ocean problem. It sounds a little dramatic, I know, but it perfectly captures the reality of trying to compete in a market that's already jam-packed.
So what exactly is a red ocean strategy? Honestly, it's what most businesses do by default. They dive right into that existing market and they just fight tooth and nail for the same group of customers. It's a constant battle over who's cheaper, who's faster, who has one extra feature. And the water gets bloody from all the competition. That's where the name comes from. It's absolutely exhausting, and it usually just becomes a race to the bottom.
But what if there was another way? Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got that bloody, competitive water. But on the other, you're sailing in a clear, wide-open blue ocean. This is the heart of what's called a blue ocean strategy. Instead of trying to beat the competition, you make them totally irrelevant. How? By creating entirely new demand. You're not just a slightly better version of what's already there. You are something else altogether.
And listen, this isn't just some hopeful, fuzzy idea. It's a real, practical framework for innovation. Blue Ocean Strategy actually gives you a set of tools to help you look at the market in a completely different way and find those uncontested spaces where your business can really, truly thrive.
Now, the full framework has what they call 6 paths to find your blue ocean, but let's just zero in on 3 of the most powerful ones. It boils down to this: looking across alternative industries, thinking about both the functional and the emotional needs of your customers, and looking ahead at future trends. Just these simple shifts in how you see things can unlock some incredible opportunities.
All right, let's take that first path, looking across alternative industries. Think about a remote worker for a second. Their choice isn't just which cafe to work from. It's actually a choice between a cafe, their home office, maybe the local library, or a formal co-working space. The moment you realize that, you stop seeing other cafes as your only competition. You can start to cherry-pick the best parts of all those alternatives and combine them into something brand new.
Having a brilliant idea is one thing, right? But turning that flash of inspiration into a concrete business strategy, that's the real challenge. A framework is pretty useless if you don't have a tool to translate those big ideas into specific, actionable decisions.
And this right here is that tool. It's called the Eliminate, Reduce, Raise, Create Grid, or ERRC for short. And what's so cool about this is how it forces you to make tough choices. For our Hue Cafe, this means you eliminate things like the guilt of camping, staying too long, and the isolation that comes with working from home. You'd reduce stuff like the high cost and sterile feel of a typical co-working space. Then, you raise the things most cafes totally ignore, like super reliable Wi-Fi and actually comfortable chairs. And finally, the really exciting part, you create completely new value, like a genuine professional community or even productivity as a service packages.
So, after going through this whole process, what does a simple cafe even look like? Well, it stops being just a place that sells coffee, that's for sure. It transforms into something so much more meaningful, so much more unique. Let's look at a couple of the incredible concepts that can emerge from this kind of thinking.
One really powerful vision is something called the Puchong Legacy Lab. This concept isn't about selling desk space or even just collaboration. It's about selling a sense of belonging. The whole idea is to turn the cafe into a cultural hub that celebrates and archives the skills and stories of the local community. It taps right into a deep human need we all have, the desire to be seen and to leave a mark.
And this isn't just fluffy, feel-good talk. The Legacy Lab would have real, tangible things. A legacy ledger, which is like a living archive of local talent, a walk to Oraison or Heritage Hour, where elders can come and share their stories, a neighborhood canon that preserves the best local recipes and ideas, and get this, the Puchong Proof Badge, a seal of trust that basically tells the world this was made right here and our neighbors stand behind it.
How cool is that?
But the Legacy Lab is just one possibility. Another amazing blue ocean idea that could come from this is the Productive Detox Sanctuary. Now, this cafe doesn't compete with other coffee shops. It competes with distraction itself. It would offer things like sound-dampened clarity pods for intense, deep work, a special cognitive menu with food and drinks actually designed to help you focus, and even intentional break stations to help you reset your mind without just mindlessly scrolling on your phone.
So whether it's a legacy lab or a detox sanctuary, the lesson here is the same. This isn't just about how to build a better cafe in Puchong, it's about a whole new way of thinking for any entrepreneur anywhere who wants to build a business that genuinely matters.
At the end of the day, creating a blue ocean isn't about being different just for the sake of being different. It's about creating so much unique value that your business becomes a vital part of your community. You know, something people would actually truly miss if it suddenly vanished. And when you think that way, it completely changes how you measure success. Instead of only focusing on revenue or foot traffic, a business like the Legacy Lab might have a totally different key metric. For them, success could be this: capturing and honoring 30 local stories in their first 3 months. It shifts the whole goal from just taking value to contributing value.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. Whether you're a founder, a freelancer, or just dreaming about starting something of your own, maybe the most important question isn't, how can I compete? Maybe it's, what story does my business tell, and who would miss it if it were gone? Thanks so much for joining us for this one.